Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus Detroit. That's where it all starts. It all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lamson got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
Hello, White Sox fans. Welcome into the Sox On Tap post-game show. It's another three-way action tonight, John. Alongside Tony Marchese, NWI Steve, discussing a sweep of the Cubs on the north side. Feels good, boys. Crack 'em. Victory beers are flowing very nicely tonight.
Cheers. Cheers. Fucking excellent game. It's always great to beat the Cubs. It is always great to beat the Cubs, guys. Thank you for joining me in the On Tap headquarters tonight. So we're feeling good. Feeling good.
Hey, yo, it is just too sweet!
That's the title of this episode. It is just too sweet. White Sox sweep the mini two-game series against the Cubs with a 4-3. Bit of a nail-biter tonight, boys. But our Sox, despite not adding on some insurance runs late, they get it done. How about balls? Matt Foster, we'll get into him a little bit more later. But, man, overall, the lockdown job at the end there, that's got to feel good.
It does. It feels amazing to get through that inning. I think, we were pretty nervous in the garage when Bummer came out for that inning. I think that if there's one pivotal moment in this ball game, guys, it has to be, just getting through that inning. Aaron Bummer obviously had some issues. We were a little uncertain as to whether or not we should have seen another inning of Kendall Graveman, but overall, get through it. Matt Foster gets the job done.
Is there a wheelbarrow big enough for Matt Foster's balls right now?
I mean, the only person that he may be able to ask about that is Randy Marsh.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now, boys. We're feeling high. We're feeling good. We're flying high after this dub here tonight. White Sox set the tone early in this one. Pito, Steve, your pick the click coming through.
You'd love to see that. Listen, talked about this, said, hey, it's time for him to start getting going here, start driving the baseball. Saw him put one in that little fucking Mickey Mouse basket bullshit that ballpark's got going over there. It's a real shame when it comes back to bite him in the ass.
Jose Abreu, we haven't seen enough MVP shit from yet this year. He loves hitting at Wrigley Field. I hope this gets him going.
You definitely want to see that because, listen, he gets this thing going. We've seen, throughout the course of his career since he's been in a White Sox uniform, as the weather starts to heat up, he definitely starts to heat up in accordance with that. And listen, this team's had some trouble scoring some runs here. You get the big man going in the middle part of that order, driving the baseball here. It's going to be 80 degrees at home at 35th and Shields next Monday when this team returns back. Let's get that power stroke going again, baby Pito. Oh,
yeah, I think what's best about that is it's not like he's gotten off to his cold start in terms of really driving the ball, because he's done that so far. It's just not found grass or not found the seats. So obviously you see it find the basket tonight, the Mickey Mouse field that we were in tonight, Steve, as you like to refer to it. So you can see Pito set the tone, hashtag set the tone shirts available on Tap Sports at bigcartel.com. Go get them. Be like our guy Matt in the comments. Regular there. Love to see him rocking that thing tonight. And Pito did set the tone. Boys, this was a home run heavy early game here, because in the bottom of the second, after Schwindel walks, Nico Horner blasts one out to left field, and then Patrick Wisdom gets a hold of a fastball that Giolito left out over the plate. What happened with Giolito here in the second inning? Because we were commending him for a very nice first inning, and then second inning, what happened here? What spiraled out of control?
Not throwing enough strikes, Johnny. Just you gotta get the ball in. Throwing more strikes than balls is really tough. We know this.
What's the one thing I talk about on a night in and night out basis on this show? Please, someone from the crowd, feel free to answer.
Dude, throw strikes.
Thank you.
Throw strikes. Get ahead. It's
doesn't take rocket science to figure it out
every single night.
Yeah.
We talk about it every single night. got into some trouble. But overall, I think the bounce back from this was something that I was happy with.
Yeah, we'll talk about the reason for the bounce back in a second here. But let's move on to the next scoring, and that came in the top of the fourth. Luis Robert starts off with a 1-out double. You got Yasmani Grandal follows with the single, and then Gavin Sheets beating the shift with 2 outs there. RBI single to tie this baby up. He's talked about this approach and doing that when they're going to shift them heavy like that with 3 guys on the right side of the infield. Tony, your guy. You got to love to see it.
I do. I love it.
Your baby boy.
I love when players beat the shift. I absolutely love it. It's one of the coolest things. Hitting the ball the other way is just such a lost art form, especially in today's baseball. He's not putting the ball out of the ballpark, which kind of upsets me. I've said that a couple times now. Haven't been going Gavin Sheets pick the click for a little while, but
have you had a father-son talk with him?
We haven't. The last time I spoke to him, he was wishing me happy birthday, and we really haven't.
Hashtag confirmed.
We haven't really spoken since. I might have to put a word into our guy Berger, telling him, get in Gavin's ear, and let's hit a home run here.
So, all this talk.
You guys saw his only home run.
We did.
Hashtag confirmed. Granted, it was garbage time, but we did see the fireworks that you requested.
I requested the
I
fireworks.
delivered them for you.
You guys were going to get them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet, though.
It's funny, though. You hear all this talk about banning the shift and Rob Manfred, the guy who hates baseball more than anyone on the planet, but he's in charge of the fucking game, working to ban the shift. That's what you do, okay? You see the defensive alignment out there. You have a 2-strike count. You shorten up. You change your approach, and you find a fucking hole. That is the essence of this game. Not this bullshit about we have to ban the shift. We have to have more balls in play for people that don't like baseball anyway. Fuck you. Play the game that way. Find a hole. Gavin Sheets got the job done. Dare I say, opportunistic?
It was.
It was. That was very opportunistic at that point. Boys, I got so excited about that. I skipped over my guy, Lurie Legend, with the home run as well. That was part of that home run brigade that came between those first 3 innings there. So good to see him drive the ball out. Pretty wild to think that he is ahead of Yasmani Grandal in home runs this year.
Another one in the Mickey Mouse basket.
Yep. I was going to say, guys, Lurie Garcia at this point, for how much Lurie slander there has been this year, lately, he's getting the job done.
He's not playing as frequently, and I think that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. He's getting the job done.
Like you said, getting the job done when called upon. I think even that one that he hit out, granted, that was in a loss, but that was a wind howling in day as well. On a crappy weather day, we've got a million of those so far this season. But good to see him. Hey, guess what? If the basket's there, take advantage of it. Both Pito and Garcia did tonight. So know your surroundings, know your elements. It's like, hey, in hockey, Tony, knowing where the puck's going to bounce off the boards in certain rinks, right?
Yep, you have to.
Yeah.
And hey, if you're playing in Wrigley Field and you got a basket and you're Lurie Garcia and you can hit one out, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, he stroked it pretty well too.
Yeah.
I will give him credit for that. He did stroke it pretty well. And we got to clarify something here. We need to. There's no way that Lurie Garcia and Nick Madrigal are the same height. We'll get to a Madrigal height play later in this game, but let's go. They're both listed at what, like 5'7" on the official roster.
How is that?
It's not. It's not. Yeah. So we'll get to a little bit of that former White Sox players talk later in this one. But let's talk about the reason for why Lucas Giolito was able to settle it down. He had a nice stretch of striking out 5 of 6 batters, and was that the 4th to 5th or 5th to 6th? Yeah, 4th to 5th inning there. Lucas Giolito getting a shot. You know why it happened? Because we all started ragging on him in the garage. And we started grinding on him and said, "Oh, feels like he just wants to be out of this and drive that pitch count and be out of this game." And
which one of you said that?
That was me.
That was you.
I had the mindset talk because we're going to get into mindset more later. But
you had some things to say.
I got a couple 2-3 things to say. Last night on our little broadcast there, somebody was slandering the changeup. How was Lucas Giolito recording all these strikeouts today, Anthony?
The changeup was working.
Yeah,
the changeup was working. I'll say the pitches, the changeups were sexy.
There was some changeup form going on here.
They were sexy. I'm glad you got your rocks on.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I had some funny feelings happening in my nether regions with all those changeups, and I got really excited. I'm not sorry.
I'm just I'm more a fan of the fastball. We established that last night. But hey, whatever gets the job done, I'm okay with.
Yeah, Jay did work well after that. Obviously, it was the second inning issues where we obviously saw it in the results. A couple balls leaving the ballpark on Lucas Giolito. Let's close the book on him. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 10 Ks. Like to see double-digit strikeout day, boys.
And I just want to bring this one up. When they brought up that graphic on the game, Johnny, Chris Sale. Wow.
Yeah, that's not nobody's.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Dylan Cease and Lucas Giolito will be vying for that, but it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before they approach Chris Sale. I believe his number was what,
35?
Yeah,
Yes.
35 double-digit strikeout games is what we're discussing there.
Is that cool and tough?
That's extremely cool and tough.
Hashtag confirmed.
Yeah. All right. Throw on the AWOL Nation Sale just for that throwback there. He had some nice outings against the Cubs during his career as well. All right. Let's move on to the more consequential plays later in this game. Obviously, we talked about Gavin Schiff beating the Shift to put the White Sox back, or excuse me, that was to tie the game. Now let's go to the top of the 6th. Jose Abreu leads off the walk. Robert follows. Boy, how about this at bat? Down 0-2, comes back, draws a walk. Very uncharacteristic, might I add, for a Luis free-swinging Robert.
I think with this at bat in particular, the result here is completely evident at the fact that Hendricks did not have a wipeout slider to go to. I think that was something that really was advantageous, and Luis Robert was able to take advantage of that because you've seen it so many times.
One might say it's opportunistic,
Yes,
based on your opponent.
Yes. Yeah. So this was the perfect spot for him to battle back. You like to see that. I'd like to see him take that approach going forward in just for the rest of the year, for the rest of his career. Be patient up there, even 0-2, just a little bit of patience, not trying to go and take that slider that's in the dirt 3 feet away from the plate and swinging at that shit. I love the restraint here that he showed.
You know, the thing with Luis Robert is when he shows selective aggression, that's when he's able to get himself into quality counts, get himself fastballs. And we've seen since the beginning of last year what happens when he gets himself into fastball counts. He's able to inflict severe damage on the baseball. Mm-hmm. So to your point there, Anthony, being able to take pitches, being selective within the strike zone, working the counts, getting yourself into a favorable position to do damage. That's where Luis Robert is going to show the MVP caliber skill set that he has.
Yep, love it. So that would set up this next sequence here. Unfortunately, Yasmani Grandal grounds into a double play, a 4-6-3-1 that takes Luis Robert off the bases. But AJ Pollock comes up, big spot, bloop double out into right center. And this one, a little Keebler Elf could not get his T-Rex arms on it, boys.
Hey, love to see it. It's taking advantage of your opponent. Dare I say?
Talking about Mickey Mouse all night here,
Dare I say that?
Woo!
Yeah. Dare I say that the Sox win the trade right there, just on that play alone.
I mean, listen, Mr. Little Keebler Elf. I mean, if he was just a little half of an inch taller, and those arms were maybe just a half an inch longer, maybe he makes that play.
Yeah, maybe the legs are a little longer. You get some longer strides going out there too. See, granted, I will say he did have to run a bit. He did have to run a bit for where that ball was placed. But either way, AJ Pollock able to find grass there. Not pretty sexy exit velocity off the bat, but guess what? It gets the job done. And my favorite term here, Tony, that was the game-winning hit.
Yes.
Ended up holding as that White Sox take a 4-3 lead in the top of the 6th there. All right, bottom of the 6th, Giolito, obviously we'd mentioned he was a 5 2/3 outing for him. So he comes out of this one, Reynaldo Lopez on in relief after throwing 1 in the series opener. What a catch by Luis Robert, running into, once again, a product of the Mickey Mouse field out there. The bricks straight up. There's no idea.
How is
the bricks? But hey, guys, I understand. Obviously, initially, everyone it was on the injury scare, but holy shit, what a catch! And this is what the gift that the White Sox have had out with him holding up the R necklace. Roll that damn R, baby.
Yeah, you got an R roll.
You want an R roll?
Yeah,
do the people want an R roll right now?
I think they do.
The people want an R roll.
Let me get the pipes ready.
Okay,
you gotta love when you see Luis. There
you go.
Whoa.
A hell of a catch like that.
Put that one in the fucking Sox on Tap Hall of Fame right there.
We got 3 dudes on a couch and tripod. This guy's working the tongue rolling.
We're just guys.
Got some 3-way action on a Wednesday night.
On a back to back.
What more can Jasper? You don't get 3 guys on a couch on NBA.
That's true. That's true. You get your +1 here.
You only get Big Frank.
This is the on-tap difference.
Yeah. Guys, I just had to, because obviously the injury scare. And what was great about that is he came up, and granted the trainers did want to go out and check on him, but he came off under his own power. Obviously he was rubbing the shoulder a little bit at first, but hey, this guy's a big, strong dude, and it's nice to see him be durable. Not saying that it's a knock on any past injuries or anything that he's had, but it feels like any little minor tweak. Hell, you saw it running to first base in Cleveland. It was a big.
Would Eloy have died?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, that's just where we're at. So, yeah, we got to appreciate that. And like I said, the catch itself, taking away that possible double or triple from Wilson Contreras to end that threat in the bottom of the 6th. All right.
Big play.
Moving on, guys, unfortunately, an unopportunistic scenario here, because the White Sox get, a threat going with Adam Engel leading off the single in the top of the 8th. Abreu strikes out, but Robert follows with a single. Runners move up on a wild pitch. And then Grandal intentionally walked, but A.J. Pollock, he came through earlier in the game. He did end up recording the game-winning hit, so you cannot knock him overall when it's all said and done. But in this moment, you'd love to get some more insurance runs here.
You would, and that's something that could have potentially bit the White Sox in the ass down the road in this ball game. We talk about opportunistic and being opportunistic all the time, and this was a brief moment of frustration in this game for me. I think it was for everybody who was watching it.
I think this started a stretch of at least on the edge of your seatness here.
It did, and I just wish that there was a different outcome there, because we'd be talking about a mollywhopping of the Chicago Cubs tonight if he comes through in this situation. Obviously, everybody else gets their job done throughout the rest of this ball game, and we come out on top. But I'm almost at that point now in this White Sox winning streak where I want to start to see.
Wait a minute. What was it?
Yeah.
What
was that term that you used?
I used the term winning streak.
That's what.
Count them out. That is a winning streak. We are on a winning streak. We are on a winning streak, and that's. I'm at the point now where I want to see the blowout win.
Yeah.
I want to see the absolute annihilation of an opponent. A.J. Pollock comes through there. I think we're talking about a different ball game tonight. Maybe even more beers would be flowing, and just happier vibes throughout the rest of the ball game for everybody who is watching. So you're looking for opportunities there. Again, they got the job done here. I'm being picky, but maybe we don't have the Aaron Bummer situation.
I need to speak on this because A.J. Pollock went opportunistic and got the job done in that first scenario, as we talked about, from the top of the 6th. But in this top of the 8th situation, you know me. I've been on him. I've liked him since he's been in Arizona. I made that clear like a couple of years ago on Twitter.com. And I followed through. And Tony, when he came back from the IL, and I was all ready about it. I wrote the article about a sight for sore eyes. Great to have A.J. Pollock back. And then what does he do? He slumps, and I get it. It's a little bit you got to get back into the group. So I said, what did I say? I said I'm going to lay off it. I'm going to lay off all the A.J. Pollock stuff.
I commend you for this. And then you are the most impatient on this couch.
Right. But I said it because I think it was as Buzz, or my guy Buzz would say, it was bad juju. I was sending out some bad juju. As Sean would say, some bad vibes towards him. So I laid off a bit, but now that he's come through in a situation after this, I can go back and commend him for at least getting the job done and recording the game-winning hit tonight. So in a way, opportunistic. But I think when it's in the summer, when it's a little warmer, hell, he's used to playing in Arizona, LA for all of his career to date. I think you're going to see that ball driven to a gap, and we're really blowing this thing up.
You got to remember too, the guy just had a child too.
Yeah.
So how much sleep?
That's true.
The counterpoint to that would be to do his work, at a time that would prevent the birth from happening during the season.
Well, some people just don't schedule them out right.
I mean, that's just not being a team player.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I don't know.
Nonetheless,
I don't know if that would qualify as setting the tone.
Yeah, let's move on.
He
boys.
wasn't here in spring training. He didn't get your prep talks.
Yeah. All right, guys. So obviously Kendall Graveman continues to be the grave digger, and he did not throw in the series opener at Wrigley, and he comes in tonight and he has a 6-pitch inning. right? And everybody's thinking that, okay, that was in the 7th. It was, real easy inning for him. Thinking he's going to come back out. And I will say, this is time for a little TLR, criticism here. Absolutely should have gone back to Graveman, especially based on what went down after this.
Well, we talked about this a couple of times over the past week here on the show. Going to Aaron Bummer in a high leverage situation right now, probably not the best idea just based on prior performance. You had a couple of good outings from him, starting to work his way back.
In the lower leverage role.
In lower leverage roles. And that's exactly what,
we all discussed it last night. The same group, right?
We just discussed this. And then, the 6th pitch inning, Steve, you brought it up in the garage during this. You've got an off day tomorrow. I mean, I don't like to criticize Tony La Russa all the time, but I will say I was very surprised at the move to go to Aaron Bummer because the mood when Aaron Bummer walks out to start that inning was just, it was tense.
Yeah. Steve, go ahead.
Well, and the other thing about it, though, too, is where they were at in the lineup. You had Wisdom leading off the inning, then you had the Keebler Elf following up him, and then you had Revis. And which you knew they were automatically going to go to.
Do you have a scouting report on the Keebler Elf?
Yeah,
we got Sackside Mike enjoys the Keebler Elf. Love it.
He's about 4'6". I was told he had a really high baseball IQ.
I thought he was the same height as Lurie Garcia.
That is not confirmed.
No,
that's not confirmed.
That's like a Bob Nightingale.
Are we opening a Sox on Tap investigation into this?
Well,
I feel like we need to.
Listen, I've been investigating the Lance Lynn story. That was obviously a long-term expose that I did. And if I have to dig into this a little bit,
I feel like we could get some screenshots of some at-bats. We might be able to put them together, show the heights, get it out on an article at OnTapSportsNet.com. I think it might be a Sox on Tap Investigate special. Is Lurie Garcia and Nick Madrigal, are they the same height?
If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do.
Might have to.
Yeah. I'm here for the people, if nothing else. So if my investigative journalism has to be put to this use, I will do it.
Yeah.
All right. Steve, let's talk about the situation, though. You had mentioned that where we were in the lineup with the Cubs coming up.
It was a little bit perplexing to me to see him go to Bummer in that particular spot there. Just like you talked about, the fact that Graveman had only thrown 6 pitches in the prior inning, and he has just been burying right-handed hitters to this point.
Yeah. And it was Sal, White Sox Sal in here says he wants Graveman for at least one more batter. I concur with that help. I would try to go with the 6-out outing there. That would have been, you and I talked about it right when he came out for the 7th. And we're like, okay, we're going to try to go Graveman for 6. Steve, you and I looked at each other and nodded and said, yeah, looks like that's the plan, right? But that wasn't. All right, let's talk about what happened here. Aaron Bummer in, obviously, in the bottom of the 8th for the Cubs. Wisdom leads off, smokes a fastball for a single. Madrigal follows up with a ground ball through the left side for a single. Wisdom advances to third because that was a hit-and-run play. Cubs pinch hit, bring Yan Gomes into the game, another righty. Luckily, he lines out to Timmy there. That was a big one for Bummer. And I was, we were all on the edge of our seats already there. But it gets even more because then Tony comes out, grabs the ball from Bummer, brings metal Matt Foster into the ball game. Boys.
You love it.
I love it. Hey, Matt Foster entered with an 0.82 ERA. That could have only improved today.
Love it. Love bringing in Matt Foster here. He's been nails since he's made his way back into high leverage situations for this White Sox bullpen. He was kind of the guy that coming into this year, you really didn't think he was going to play a big factor into, high leverage spots or even the bullpen really in general. At least in my mind, you're sitting here thinking about guys like Kendall Graveman, Joe Kelly, Bummer, obviously Liam Hendricks, even to an extent at one point in time, Craig Kimbrell. So where was Matt Foster's role in this bullpen? Guys like Jose Ruiz and Matt Foster have really added themselves at this point to really kind of save what we thought was the quote-unquote super PAC. I mean, what are your thoughts here?
No, that's absolutely true. And you see that. And you have to see guys kind of come out of nowhere. And I know Foster obviously had the really good season in 2020 in the pandemic shortened season. But when you've got this long stretch of a season coming up, and particularly this, brutal schedule that they are right in the midst of here, you need some guys to step up that you weren't necessarily counting on. And to see Matt Foster come out there tonight, and I mean, he had nuts the size of boulders tonight. You know, so for him to go out there in that particular situation, just lock things down the way that he did, keep this game where it was at, give them an opportunity to be able to close out this thing. I mean, that guy right there, if you're giving out a game ball, that's
I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask if we're giving out a game ball tonight.
That's usually on you, Tony. You've been on the game ball duties. So
Yeah,
I
think I'm giving it to Matt Foster here. I mean, he came in and got the job done in a tough spot. I mean, that's cool and tough.
Yeah, he comes in.
Definition.
Right and that's Saya Suzuki. Hey, props to. I mean, I think we need to give a little. You know, granted, we can question the decision of ultimately, you know, not having Graveman back out there for the 8th, but for the coaching staff and for Matt Foster himself, everybody involved with the pitching staff there, Ethan Katz, everybody in the bullpen, the analytics guys there, because you're attacking Saya Suzuki in what has been an area of weakness for him since the league has adjusted to him with going upstairs with those fastballs up in on his hands. And that's what Foster was able to do early in that bat. Eventually induces a pop-out foul to Gavin Sheets. Almost did get the Keebler out there for a double play. But either way,
high baseball IQ, though.
Ian Happ comes in. Not a favorable matchup in terms of righty-lefty here because you're going, obviously, Matt Foster on the mound as a righty. Ian Happ, a switch hitter, batting from the left side. But, hey, he gets him to Kate. Granted, Madrigal did take second base in the middle of that bat, but that's okay. You give that base up on a changeup early in that count. But then, once again, going with some fastballs and then just absolutely froze him on the last one. Metal Matt Foster, guys, I want to talk about the mindset. We all watched this game in the garage, so I wish we did kind of have this live cam going during the game. But we'll bring it to you on the post game here. And I had said, Matt Foster, when you just look at him in his eyes, he looks like he's got a death stare going. Like, I'm gonna take this ball and shove it up your ass. Whereas Aaron Bummer, before, it looked like a deer in headlights. You guys concur?
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying here, Johnny. And this is something that we talk about in the Sox On Tap group chat all the time, just body language, how people are responding on the mound when things don't go their way. Lucas Giolito becomes the target of a lot of this discussion, but right now it's Aaron Bummer. There's a confidence factor that goes into this. I don't know where to find that stat on Baseball Reference or Fangraphs. When I do figure out how to work Fangraphs and Baseball Reference to figure out, how they're rating guys' confidence levels and just, being mentally tough in these situations, maybe I can give you guys a number that'll quantify this. But right now, Matt Foster looks phenomenal, and Aaron Bummer looks to be on the low end of that.
Yeah, so I think it's BALLS, and our guy Voodoo07 Matt, a great YouTube commenter here, says 2. 2 is the number with
he's
Matt
got
Foster.
2.
Yeah,
he's got 2 BALLS. Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And he dropped them on the Cubs' foreheads.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you get the job done.
Yeah. All right. I love it. All right. Matt Foster gets us out of that jam there. As we go in, Liam Hendricks in for the 9th and locks it down. This guy, hey, I had said April struggles bring about May dominance for Liam Hendricks. If you remember last year, gave up 5 home runs in the month of April, came back, had an almost spotless May, seemed like, and became the reliever of the month in May last year. He is on that trajectory. Granted, I will say, let's take, grain of salt, step back time. We're only 4 days into the month of May. Cinco de Mayo's tomorrow. So we're only 4 days into the month of May. But as so far, with Liam Hendricks coming out in 3 games in a row here, looking phenomenal. What'd you see?
Look, it's about mindset, and you can kind of see Liam has shifted here a little bit. He was kind of getting away from himself during some of those struggles in April here. These last 3 outings, you can just see he's kind of got a different mindset to him, and he's got that fuck you attitude back out there. And as a closer, that's something that you really need to have out there. Yeah. And you have to have a short memory, and so it's good to see him do that. But more importantly than anything else, he's going out there and he's establishing that fastball early and working ahead in counts.
Where have I heard that before?
I don't know.
Like deja vu.
You have a broken record.
Deja vu. Yeah, I think we got a broken record.
I mean, it's almost like there's a blueprint to being successful as a pitcher if you work ahead in counts. It's weird how that works.
That's wild to me because I feel like I've heard it before and I don't know where. We talk about this all the time. It's almost to the point where it's cliche. But you get to this point.
Cliches are cliches because they are
yes,
true.
Okay, I've got that down here, but can Aaron Bummer just start to do that? And how dangerous would this bullpen be if he did?
You saw his last 2 outings. He was doing that.
Yeah.
He was working ahead of
Consistent.
Consistency. We may shoot the shit and be, if you guys drinking some beers on the couch here, but at the same time, did we not? If you just go back into last night's postgame show, it was the same crew. Granted, we were all remote, so you had the 3 split video screens. We're all here, 3-way action for you once again, all in the same room tonight. But we did say the sentiment held true. Yep. The setting changed, but the sentiment held true. And we had said we'd like to see at least another outing of Aaron Bummer in maybe a lower leverage situation. So can't say we didn't call for it, but hey, guess what? At the end of the day, got the job done. And I understand process is important, but the results are what we can celebrate.
Yeah, and it's always great to beat the Cubs.
Yes.
It's always great to beat the Cubs.
It's always great to beat the Cubs. It's always great to debut a new edit from On Tap, Tony. You did a great job with those victory beers, so I hope all of our Sox On Tap listeners
cheers, boys.
that debut. Go and check it out. Throw a retweet and show us your victory beers. You go to @Sox On Tap on Twitter. Reply with your victory beers. We'll retweet them right away and celebrate along with you as we're doing them. That's nothing. It's nothing tastes better than a victory beer. Crack them, and then the Sox On Tap logo with a nice beer glass right below it. Thank you, Tony, for getting that all together. Boys, final thoughts from this game, and then let's move on, look ahead. Obviously, we've got an off day on Thursday, but then we'll look ahead to the weekend in Boston. Final thoughts on this game, then let's wrap it up.
Final thoughts here for me. I think that, the result is all that matters. It's always great to beat the Cubs. Again, broken record here, but I'm waiting for the offense to fully break out. A couple of opportunities tonight where you could have blown this game wide open. You're looking for that as we go through this stretch that Steve has talked about so much. I was nervous about this Cubs series a week ago because it would have been absolutely demoralizing for this team to continue playing like absolute dog shit at Wrigley Field this week. The boys have turned it around a little bit. We're on a winning streak now. Things are looking good, but they can always get better. I'm looking for more improvement as we go on down this stretch here. I want to see this continue, especially when we get to Cleveland and start to hit the next gear for this White Sox team. That's what I'm looking for. That's my final thoughts. From
Steve, hit me with them.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 straight, baby. Go to Boston on Friday, take care of the Ginger Sox, make it 4 in a row, win a series out there, 11-13. You're 2 games under 500. I'm preaching this for the last couple of nights. You got to get to 500 first before you talk about this thing. Twins lost tonight. You're 3.5 back. You got to keep this thing close here, given this stretch of the schedule right now. Keep it close. Keep winning ball games, winning series. Weather's going to heat up on Monday. Going to be at 35th and Shields. It's going to be softball jersey Monday. Get the fucking bats out. Bring the whooping sticks out there, and let's light these motherfuckers up, and let's get hot.
Yes.
I've got a text from Steve somewhere in here that said that this team's going to be 7 or 8 games back by next week, and I just can't wait. I just can't.
That has not
don't expose it.
That's going to be just too sweet.
That has not been hashtag confirmed.
It's going to be just too sweet to let that out on the internet.
Yeah, but boys, I'm unfortunately, as much of a pleasure it's been being Steve, you and I taking Monday's show, talking about a winner there. All 3 of us remotely last night, 3-way action, talking about a winner. All 3 of us here together tonight talking about a winner. It's been great. But I will not be with you for this weekend. I will be out of town. So these boys plus Buzz and Sean will have it covered this weekend. But as we lead into Boston, I dislike Boston as a city. So I want to see Yasmani Grandal start to heat it up. Drop some bombs over into that. There's a short porch right there down the line of right field. Obviously, we know we can put it further. And A.J. Pollock won over the Green Monster. I'm back on my A.J. Pollock bullshit, Tony, officially. It's hashtag back since he got the game-winning hit tonight. So I'm back on it. Wait till A.J. hits one, and I will pipe up over the weekend. Let's move on to that Boston series, though, boys. Vince Velazquez, the guy who we talked about it last night, the guy who set the tone for this nice stretch here from that Saturday game against the Angels, was Vince Velazquez. Obviously, we had a little hiccup with Dallas Keuchel in the middle there, but they got back on track after that. Overall, solid baseball. They even had that rally on that Sunday there. He'll be back on the mound for this Friday night game. Obviously, a Thursday off day. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with a ton of margaritas, please, everybody.
I believe it's pronounced Cinco de Drinko.
Yes, yeah, correct. Hashtag confirmed. But once again, Vince Velazquez, and it'll be Nathan Eovaldi. So tough challenge for our Sox heading against those Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, I've got two things to say here, Johnny. One, we brought this up, Buzz and I did on the show after the ball game on Sunday, that ninth inning, where they almost made a miraculous comeback. One thing I said there was you want to see the team build off that. I think they have. Velasquez comes out the next day, shoves. We're talking about a winning streak tonight. That's fucking cool. Winning is cool and tough. We've established that here. But they've really started to take strides forward. I love seeing that. Second point, Velasquez, can he build on what he did on, what was that, Monday?
That was Saturday.
Saturday. Can he build on what he did on Saturday?
You know, the biggest thing, so being in the ballpark that day and really having a good vantage point, watching him work out there, just the depth he had on his slider on that particular afternoon there against the Angels. If he can go out there and if he can have that again, that's going to make things very difficult on the Ginger Sox hitters. So you want to see him go out there, really kind of work that in there. And he can be another guy that, if he's got a good feel for it, can pitch backwards, similar to what we have seen from Dylan Cease throughout, his run to start this season. So that's something I'm going to be watching for here in this outing against Boston on Friday.
Yeah, he did some, like we'd mentioned, some hashtag set the tone work with that outing on Saturday against the Angels. He will need to set the tone for the series because as of right now, it is still Dallas Keuchel lined up for Saturday. They have not done the DFA all the reasons, all the timing for it. Go and read ontapsportsnet.com and WI Steve. Great column there. Your column.
But it's a TBD.
Ooh, yes,
right,
it is.
Saturday and Sunday is TBD. So is it entirely possible that maybe Rick Hahn took a little gander over at ontapsportsnet.com and said, hey, you know what? Maybe this fucking schlub on the internet, maybe he's onto something. Maybe I should get rid of this mid-card jabroni because you know what? He's not doing anything to help this baseball team. So Dallas, take your fucking ass, take your whiny little bullshit and go somewhere else because you ain't helping this team anymore. You're done. You're toast. You're cooked. Get lost.
Nobody hates Dallas Keuchel more than NWI Steve, Johnny. But if Wet Butt 23 and Katy Perry's Booty Hole can break a trade, I think NWI Steve can influence.
Yeah, he can preface it.
He
can preface it for sure.
I mean,
yeah,
there's things that have happened.
Would I be able to add? Would I be able to add the title of influencer onto my profile on Twitter.com?
100%.
If that actually happens and you don't
hashtag influencer.
If you don't change your name to hashtag Rick Hahn influencer, I will be disappointed.
All right.
All right, boys, we are almost out of time for this episode. Let's get a pick the click for that Friday night game in Boston.
You know what? I'm going to go Gavin Sheets. You talked about a short porch. Guy that's beating the shift right now, needs to hit one out of the ballpark. There's not a better place. I'm going my baby boy, as you like to say, Steve. I'm going Gavin Sheets.
Steve? I think I'm gonna take somebody I haven't taken yet this year. I'm gonna go Josh Harrison, assuming he's in the lineup.
Okay. All right, it's Nathan Eovaldi, ready on the mound. As I mentioned, something I'd like to see this weekend. Yasmani with another home run to help break out of it. I think Fenway is a place to do it. As I mentioned, that short porch down the line, and he's got the power to just put it over that bullpen even too. So I will go with Mr. Grandal batting from the left side against right-hander Nathan Eovaldi.
Stay on brand.
Yasmani. I will be rooting for it from down in Kentucky, down in Dixie. So. Boys, one last thought, and then let's wrap this baby up.
Go to you.
3 games in a row, winning streak. Keep this shit rolling. Let these boys get hot, baby.
I love watching White Sox baseball. It's better when I get to share it with you guys, especially during White Sox winners. Thanks for coming out tonight. We don't get to do this as much as we'd like to. Hopefully we get to do it more in the future.
And 3-way action on a school night?
2 nights in a row. Woo! 2 nights in a row, 3-way action on school nights. It's cool and tough. Love it.
Yeah,
Right.
boys. You guys hold the fort down while I'm gone. Other than that, we need our White Sox to, I would say, take 2 of 3. Would be the objective this weekend here, and that would put us on a good trajectory for Steve's navigating this gauntlet. You can go check that out if you want more on the White Sox upcoming gauntlet on tapsportsnet.com. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure as always. Listeners, subscribers, followers, we love hearing your comments. Make sure you subscribe to On Tap Sportsnet on YouTube so you can get your comments posted up in here like we got from all of our guys. We love our returning commenters and new ones as well. So that being said, I only got 3 words. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever.
White Sox for life.